We wanted to make this episode special, so we treated our guests to a glam session at Glam Haven. Meet Janice, a friend of mine for over 10 years. She's a lawyer, author, and life coach dedicated to empowering young people. She's also the founder of the Janice Melvin Foundation, a non-profit organization that supports teenagers and young adults worldwide.
Thank you for the question. So the journey so far, all right, let me see. So when I graduated from school, went to law school, and then after law school it was NYSC. I served in Anambra, Oka State.
Oh, nice. Shout out to all the Anambra people.
Shout out. So I should point this out though. I wasn't really keen on doing litigation as a lawyer.
Okay.
So in Nigeria, once you say you're a lawyer, everybody just thinks towards, oh, you're doing litigation, you're practicing as a practicing lawyer and all that, but that's not the only aspect of law. Anyway, I wasn't so keen on doing litigation, so I said I was going to use my NYSC period to explore what litigation is like, get myself attached to a chamber and see how it goes. But unfortunately, that was the COVID-19 year. So a lot of things were locked down, including the courts. I did not really explore. And I didn't want to go back to my father's house. So I was in a fix because my dad already made it clear, I've done my best for you. So after law school, I know I was on my own. So getting a job as a lawyer, I didn't know if I want to go back to Bayelsa State and practice, or should I stay in Oka? It was a lot to think about. So I should say, I think I got depressed at some point. I was crying, I was praying, like, God, I need a miracle. I don't want to
direction.
Go back. Yes, there was no direction at all. There was no direction. So God so kind. A friend of mine called me one morning. I think that was like a couple of weeks before we did our POP. I passed out in October. Yes,
2020.
Yes, October 2020. So a couple of weeks before my POP date, a friend of mine called and said, "Oh, there's an opening for a female lawyer in Lagos. Would you want to apply?" And this and that. I was skeptical. I was scared because I didn't think my dad would let me go. My dad is this kind of overprotective person. Never really let us out. So that would be like me relocating totally to Lagos State,
to a place that you've never
been to before. So I was really scared. I said, okay, I would just ask. I didn't want to take the job, but he did it. Why wouldn't you? I mean, it's an opportunity, and then the pay was good for someone who's just starting her legal career. So okay, fine, I would take it. So I took the job. I did an interview. It was an online interview.
Oh, great.
Yeah. So in like 1 week, everything was done. I got the job.
And that was before your POP.
That was before my POP.
Wow.
And I was really scared. I was really scared because I was expecting that he would ask me some law questions. He was asking me math questions. I'm terrible with math. Oh my God, you should see me failing. And I was like, okay, I've lost this. There's no way. But anyhow, I got the job, right? Nice. And I was so happy. Now it was time to tell my father.
Oh, you had not told your dad?
I didn't. I went to have the interview. So after the interview, and they called me and told me I got the job. So okay, it's time to tell him now. So I did. I just with a
And you were still in Oka?
I was still in Oka, but I did the interview when I was in Bayelsa. I think that period I went back home to do something. Now I was always going home during the service year. So that particular time, I did an interview when I was at home, but no one knew except my younger sister. Right. So after it was confirmed that I've gotten the job, so I summoned up courage. I told my dad. I had just said in my mind.
Like?
No, I already concluded that whether he accepts or he doesn't accept, I will go because the girl needs to find her. There was no way I'm going to stay back in my father's house, right? So And surprisingly, he accepted. He was like, oh, that's good. Congratulations. Did your due diligence? Did you check? Who is this person? Like, I did. He also tried to check anyway to be sure that maybe they're not going to scam me or going to kidnap me and all of that. So we did just that and everything was fine. And okay. And I just had to prepare. Service year came. I already told them that I would soon do my POP. And then I moved after my POP. So I came into Lagos 1st of November 2020. That was when I moved to Lagos. 2nd of November 2020, I started work. So I was working with a fintech company then. I still work with a fintech company though, but not that one right now. But I started there. And I was working as a legal compliance officer. So yeah, I was new life, new job, new everything, new environment and everything. I was just open to embrace the opportunity. And so far it has been good. It's been an amazing journey. Yeah. So when I did the interview, I told my boss I didn't have a place to stay. I've never been to Lagos before, so I told him. He said that's not a problem, that he had prepared a place for me. So when I came to Lagos, in fact, before I came to Lagos, I just didn't know where I was going to stay at first, even though they had told me that, they had prepared a place for me and all that. But at least I needed somewhere to stay before going.
Oh, okay, so the job provided you with an accommodation.
Yes, they did. And you don't know how advantageous that is to your life as a Lagosian. Someone that just starting a career the first time. No, they did really well. So I didn't know where I was going to stay at first, but then I know you remember Becky. I was looking for a place to stay. I was calling everybody I knew I could call, but they didn't have any accommodation for me. But I was just asking for a safe week because I don't know how it was going to be when I come over. So finally, I just remember that, Becky stays in Lagos, and I called Becky. I asked Becky, and she said she just has to check in with the elder bro first, and then she did. In less than 15 minutes, she called back. Oh, you can go. I was so happy because at that point, I booked my bus ticket already. I knew,
but you didn't know where you were going to spend your night. Wow.
I didn't. So I came to Lagos, got to a place. I was so happy. And when I came, I know I've not said this before to her. When I came, I saw the condition of the family. You know how I was in shock. I didn't know Lagos houses were really small and all of that. So it wasn't used to the kind of houses I'm seeing in
culture shock.
This in Bayelsa and Oka, they are spacious, right?
Very big.
Because it was a one-bedroom flat. I was like, oh my god, this house is so tiny. And then the wife was pregnant as at that time, and they had a toddler. I think she was like a year. Is that what they call it? They call toddlers when they're a year plus or something. Okay, I don't know about that. But then, I think she was like a year plus or two. And then she herself was there, one-bedroom flat, and my heart melted. I was moved to tears. Like, this house is so small, and yet these people opened up their house to me. Like, just come and stay with us for the 1 week you said we were going to. I was really touched. I
think you even know her family members on a personal level.
I didn't even know her family members on a personal level. It was just Becky I knew.
And they opened up.
Yes, so I was really touched. I mean, we're living in a wicked world and people are really skeptical about opening their houses to people, even if there are people you even know prior to that time. But I mean, the world is wicked.
I've been in that position when I first. Don't worry, I'll give my own. When I first transitioned and relocated to Lagos story. But just a brief intro. When I first planned on moving to Lagos, the first person I told, or the person who stretched their hands of accommodation to me, saying I could spend a few months with them before I get my own place. Somehow, this person is really close to me, but at the end of the day, when I moved to Lagos, it was someone I barely knew. I had met this person surprisingly online. Wow. And she was like, because I was at the verge of losing a job, and I really needed that. I needed to do that relocation as in there and then. And I'm so grateful for that person as well too, right? So one thing I know for people, young persons who live in other places are looking to relocate to Lagos just for career advancements and all of that. One of the major issues is accommodation.
Yeah, that's very true. Accommodation. So if you have that sorted, I always tell people, I mean, if you have your accommodation sorted in Lagos, you have sorted like 50%, if not more,
of your problems.
Because accommodation is actually a huge challenge, a very huge one.
Yeah.
So that was it. That's how I transitioned. And the next day I was to resume. It was even her elder brother. I'm talking Becky's elder brother now. That helps to point out, oh, this is where you're going to take, and blah blah blah. Then I found my way to my office, and then when I came in, I found like, oh, they already prepared your room for me. I'm like,
oh my god, you are such a relief.
So I just spent, was it 2 or 3 nights in Becky Place, as opposed to
1 week
that I wanted to spend. So as I went back home that day, the next one was just pack up my things, took Uber, and that was it.
God bless every person in Lagos that have accommodated, would I call us JJCs?
Exactly.
God bless you all, because I don't know, without you accommodating all the JJCs, I don't know, life would have been tough.
Well, let's see. Well, my job, I should say one, talking about my job, and it's because since my home and my job, it's like kind of close, they give me an accommodation. I hardly went out. So I was more like an introvert in Lagos. I still am an introvert in Lagos. So if you talk about life as a Bayelsa, I don't think I can really explain much. Plus, the way I look, a lot of persons always think I'm from Igbo, that I have the look of an Igbo person and all of that. So if I tell them I'm from Bayelsa, like, you don't look like a Bayelsa.
From where to where?
Okay, so I cannot even say there's any kind of culture shock or whatever. I don't know. So
have you met any Bayelsan aside from me and aside from persons that you know already?
Okay, so I have not a couple. And say 70% of my colleagues are Bayelsans.
How is that possible?
Because my boss is a Bayelsan. First of all, my career path and my passion, they're 2 different things.
Okay.
I think I mentioned earlier that I'm a legal compliance officer, so that's like the career path on its own. My passion, okay. Well, I have a foundation that I have not fully launched, but it was registered earlier this month. I think I got my certificate April or May, something like that. So that foundation is called the Janice Melvin Foundation.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we're focused on teenagers and young people. Now the slogan is nurturing the younger generation, healing lives, igniting potential, and making impact. That's a slogan, and I'm sure it's self-explanatory.
Yeah, it is.
So, how the passion came about, I think that should be from my life, how I grew up. I have always had a passion for young people like myself, teenagers when I was still a teenager, and even right now too. And that was because of my upbringing at home. It wasn't
a pleasant one.
Let's say I just come from a dysfunctional family, and then it had a lot to do with me mentally. It affected me so much, and I'm just glad that at a very early age, I understood what was going on with me. I think as at 16, 17, I already knew what was happening. And I just saw that, okay, this was the after effects of this thing that's going on in my home.
Okay.
Right? So I just knew, okay, this is the root.
Okay.
So if this is happening like this, that means it will affect other aspects of your life. I just knew, right? And I know I had to do something to change that.
Okay.
I didn't know how I was going to, but I knew I had to do something to change that. I need to talk to people like me that were having similar experiences, and all of that. So when it started, I think that was in my SS1.
Okay.
In my SS1, I had, I had the privilege to join a teenage fellowship in my church back then. So as at that time, I didn't really understand the whole teenage blah blah blah, that this is what they should do. But I knew something was going on with me, and I needed someone to really help understand it. I just needed someone to really tell me that you can understand my experiences and tell me they're valid, and not tell me that I'm stupid for feeling this way or doing some certain things, right? So in that fellowship, we had two coaches. They, God bless them, they helped me. They helped me so much. As at that time, I was really struggling with low self-esteem.
Oh no!
I was actually very smart, but
We
then
know that.
but then I couldn't, for some reasons I can't explain. I just couldn't bring myself out to position myself where I should be and all of that. I was just so boxed because of the whole low self-esteem and all of that. But it was in that fellowship that coach. Were two, a lady and a guy. The coach does not say, you can be anything that you want to be. You just need to start telling yourself the things that you want to say in your life. Be positive and all that. You don't have to think about the negativities that people tell you, not your parents, not your friends, not your peers, and all of that. So it started to hit me. I am actually the author of my life. Yeah, I was actually the author of my life. I could say the things I want to see in my life. I don't have to think about the other things people are saying about me. So that was when it started. I think I had a paradigm shift here. So it just turned. So I started telling myself positive things. This, that you're great, you're this, doesn't matter what's happening right now. And it reflected in my academic and all of that. And I grew with that. And so when I got into the university, I'd already overcome that challenge. So when I'm seeing other people like, I don't do this thing fast. So I could relate to this is why you are feeling like this, and but I have, by God's grace, crossed that bridge earlier on, so it wasn't so much of an effect for me. Now, growing up in the university stage and all of that, I was still seeing it playing out in so many people's lives, right? And oh no, this can't continue. This can't continue. Something has to be done about it.
So when you talk about it being in a lot of person's lives, so one thing I've come to realize as Nigerians in Nigeria, raised by Nigerian parents, I do not want to give a percentage, but majority of Nigerians within the millennial age group all had parents that contributed to the low self-esteem that we are currently experiencing, and it dealt with a lot of us. Some of us couldn't even do the things the way we wanted to do them because of our parents, right? Then I don't think they understood the impact of their actions on our mental health, because in Africa and in Nigeria we do not take mental health seriously. And sometimes when I start to reflect on those things, it's as though it's good for them, they were protecting us, but somehow it affected us. So a lot of persons that I get to meet are either going through one mental situation from home due to probably how their parents treated them from home or whoever they were living with, and it affected the way they started relating with people when they came to the outside world, the university, work, and all of the world is damaged. Nigerians are damaged, and that damage started from
the home. So I keep telling people this, we are a product of our homes. So let's say the family, the old tree, the old global tree, I don't know what to call it now. So this family is the smallest unit of the society. Now, a child grows up, you give birth to a child in the family, mother, father, the child. 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, you're bringing up that child in your home. So by the time the child grows up to become an adult that's supposed to go out in the society, what is going to take out is what you've been giving to him. So it always starts from the roots. And if you really want to heal the people, the youths, the young people, the teenagers that are going through all this dysfunctionality, you need to go back to the family. So that was how I wrote my first book. How to Raise Teenagers. That was the very first book I wrote, because I already saw that this is, if you don't take this thing from the roots, if you don't solve the problem from the roots.
What's the name of the book again?
How to Raise Teenagers.
Okay, where can we get it?
Oh, it's on Amazon, but since we're in Nigeria, it's on Seller too. Just Janice Melvin, How to Raise an Adult.
How to Raise an Adult.
Yeah, How to Raise an Adult.
Okay, so we would put the link on the description of this video in case there are persons who want to. I believe your story is also in this book.
Not so much, but I just
how you overcame.
There are other books. There are other books that carries my story that I still in the works. I actually have 2 books out.
Okay.
Out there.
Names.
So the first one, as I said, is How to Raise an Adult, not teenager. Sorry about that. How to Raise an Adult. Mm-hmm. Then the second one is Don't Overthink It. About overthinking. Yes. So there's actually a lot of work I'm putting in the background for this whole passion and just trusting in God that when the right time comes, everything will come to limelight.
When did you write your first book?
I wrote my first book in May 20. I started writing it in May 2022, and I would not want to say this and make it look like it was a me effort. There was a lot of God factor in this thing, because even the foundation, I wouldn't have registered it if I had not gotten the backing from God and said, yes, it's time. Like everyone else, I grew up in a Christian home, the average Christian home.
Yeah.
Go to church, come
back.
Sometimes a woman in devotion, sometimes with God, but you're a Christian and all of that. I didn't know God for myself. I didn't know God for myself, but I only know that when I was much younger, it's a silly memory, but when I was much younger, I was fond of misplacing things. I can't remember, like the amnesia. I can't. I'll keep something there. The next 2 minutes, I've forgotten. I can't remember where I kept it, and then I'll pray. I'll tell God within me, God, if you do not give me this thing, I will not serve you again. As a child, I was like up to 10. I'm talking 6'5". Yeah. So in circles, I've seen it. Every time it happened, that was my prayer. I will not serve you. It's very funny. So I think that was like my earliest realization that I needed to be close with God and all of that. But then growing up with everything happening around me, plus the whole teenage exuberance I wanted to explore. Yeah, I strayed far from the path. I did stray far from the path. And when I was in school, in university, I should state that, my parents, they changed us from the church we used to attend, and then we went to an Orthodox church that's like the Deeper Life. Don't judge me. I know if you see me with nose rings and it doesn't relate, but oh well, that's that. So it was a problem. Now me, I'm used to this. Although I wasn't wearing nose ring, I was used to this makeup, weave-ons, and how do I change?
You like
stop wearing
that?
Yeah. So it was a problem. It was a problem that too caused another issue at home and all of that. But now that I've grown to be this mature in Christ, I realized that even that phase served a purpose for me. So it was trying to build me morally. That was where I got my moral ground.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is how a Christian should live. This and that. And right now I'm seeing a lot of people that you are doing like, people don't used to fear God. So that part did all of that for me. So even if from the inside of my heart I knew that I was not aligned with God, the whole morally upright and all those blah 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 things, that was okay. And I understood that part was a very essential part of my Christian journey and all of that. But then again, I knew something was missing. There was something missing. At some point, it felt like it's not just all about the outward appearance. Rather, you do this, you do that, but in my heart of hearts, I still don't feel like I'm close to God. So
there was
how
kind
did
of
that?
a void.
Thank you. There was a void. So how do I feel in this? Nobody's telling me about that. You're telling me not to wear weave-ons, not to wear
without
these,
giving me reasons and speaking to my soul.
Exactly. Yeah. I could decide not to wear weave-ons and all of those things again, but you will still go to hell. You will still go to hell if you don't actually know God for yourself. And that part was missing. No one experienced in my family house. So I stayed in a family house when I was 7, Dominion City Corpers Fellowship in Oka. So if you see anybody that stays there, they will tell you Janice was a problem. They will come for my devotion at force.
Are you for real?
I had not known God for myself as at then.
Oh,
So
okay.
it was still a problem. I was like, oh, these people are doing holy like this. I'm not understanding you guys.
What
so
changed?
I'm coming there. Give me a break. I'm coming there. So they would tell you I was a problem, right? They would tell you I was a problem. So until one period, it was close to when we were doing our POP, we just wanted to pray together. Those of us who were going to pass out that set. So we're going to pray together and secure our future in the hands of God. We don't know where we're going and all of that. So when it was my day to lead prayers, when I was leading prayers, everybody like, huh? Ha! Janice camp. And the same thing happened to when I was in law school. When I was in law school, my roommates, you said we're going to pray one night, and I was not who led prayers. I didn't used to go to church in law school.
Oh really?
I didn't used to go to church. My roommates, they were like, Janice, go to church. I'm like, you guys should go, don't worry. But then one thing they didn't know, I used to do my own fellowship.
That's how we're deceiving ourselves.
So when everybody would go out, I would then pray, listen to messages. By the time they're coming back, I was done with mine. So they didn't even know that even as I wasn't going to church, I was still doing my own thing in the room. But much later, I started going to church with them anyway. But as at that time when we held this prayer, I wasn't going to church. And I was only led the prayers. They were like, Janice. People think that I'm the devil herself, or I don't understand where is this coming from. So yes, back then I was not so much into God, and when the whole realization came that I needed to find God for myself, I think it started in service year.
Okay.
It was in service year it started. I think there was one of my friends. If you remember, I don't think you remember, but I used to post one girl in particular. Her name is Esther.
Okay.
Esther was like one of the persons who stood in the gap for me, right from Dominion City Corpers Fellowship. Yeah.
Always have someone
Kingdom friends, very important.
that stands in the gap for you, even when you're backsliding.
Yeah, she was saying, Janice, you cannot come to DCCF and not serve God. She will pray. She always prays. And then there's another of my friends, his name is Joshua. And one day I bumped into them in my room. They were praying. I think they mixed olive oil and water. They were just sprinkling on my bed, laying hands on my bed, like using my bed as a point of contact. So I bumped into them doing that. They're like, I feel like I get demon or waiting. What's going on here? But I didn't know they were doing something.
They were interceding.
Yeah, they were really interceding on my behalf. So by the time I was leaving DCCF, I still had Esther's number. I didn't think I would need her for anything. But from that time, something happened.
By that one act. Like,
yes, so no, they really prayed. They really did stood in the gap for me. And when it hit me that it was time, I really needed to come close to God. It was still during service year. A lot of things happened during that service year. So that was like the beginning part of everything that happened much later in my life till now. So the realization I knew I needed to get close to God was from service year. That realization I had was during COVID era. So I was leaving my father's house.
okay.
And I knew I had to like find a church for myself and all the other things. And I was just telling God, you know me. I can't go into all of these doctrines, don't wear this. I cannot. I can't. I tried to keep it, but it didn't work. And you know it caused a lot of issues at home. And I can't continue. So I need you to take me to a place that I know you are there. And I know that your spirit is there.
Word.
They will preach the word. My spirit man will be well fed, and then I will grow spiritually, morally, career-wise, every other aspect of my life. I just want to serve you with the best of me. Take me to a place that can bring out the best in me and serve you well with everything I have. I prayed that prayer right from law school era till service year. I didn't know that God actually carried me and took me right to the place. I'm a Dominion City member right now, and that was where it started from. And the funny thing is, I never wanted to serve in Oka. My plan was to serve in Port Harcourt. Somehow,
God has
that thing didn't work. That relocation plan just didn't work. And all this time, I told you I was praying that God should give me a church. I didn't know that He carried me and placed me in a place where I actually ought to be. And it was during one of the services we held in our sitting room, because there was no churches at that COVID era. Everywhere was on lockdown. So we stayed there, and I used to sleep. Don't judge me.
Don't judge me.
During service, I used to sleep. Because I don't know what people were preaching. So it's entering their call from this to that side. I will sleep. So that particular day, I was sleeping, but my subconscious was awake. And I heard my pastor, Pastor David Ubweli, he was preaching. And he said something profound that struck my spirit. And I just, sat up like, who's preaching? I had to tap someone by the side and like, who is preaching? And the person said, it's the Jew. I said, Jew. I didn't even know he was a Jew. I didn't even know he was a Jew. So I was just, listening and listening and listening. I think that was the very first time I knew the Holy Spirit spoke to me. And he said, this is he. This is the man you've been looking for. And that was how my eyes opened. All the while I was praying for a church. I was praying for God to put me in a place where I could really serve him and give him my all and all. I didn't know he carried me and kept me in the center, right there in the fellowship house, that I wasn't even obeying their rules. I was like a thorn and their flesh for them.
And they didn't chase you away.
They didn't chase me by. You will not chase me to anywhere. So, and that was how I just knew, okay, I needed to find him. But I was so far from him. I had strayed so far. How do I come back? I didn't know. But then that was where the seed was really planted deep. You need to do this. And that period was the time he was really preaching. It's time for you to build your fellowship with God. COVID-19, there'll be a time will come, you will not see churches, and all of that. And
you held on to that.
So that was it. By the time I came to Lagos, I still wasn't going to church. But I was streaming service online. Then there was one service, January period, I should say. That's now fast forward to 2021 in January. So I was listening to the sermon. That period is what we have, we call post-encounter retreats. Just the time you have with God, and then you come back, you just testify, how was it, how was the experience. So there's this lady, she wasn't even a member of my church. And then she came and she said that she came with a message from God, that God has told her to tell the sisters something. She quoted a scripture from Isaiah. I can't remember the particular Bible verse. And when she said it said something about the daughters of Zion, that woe to us, something like that. But then the explanation was, we're not being serious with God. We're supposed to be out there. We, God's daughters, we're supposed to be out there bringing people to his kingdom. And we're wasting our time, wasting our lives. It felt like this woman was talking to me. And there and then, I started crying. I was like, God, I know I said I promised I was going to come close, but I didn't know how. I don't know how. Help me. I don't know how. And then he said, call Esther.
Call Esther, your friend from service here.
Esther from service here was the one God said, call. So I called her and I told her, Esther, I'm ready now to be intentional. I want to be intentional with my Christian journey. Esther was elated. I don't think I've seen her so excited before about something. She's like, this is what I've been praying for. Janice, I'm so happy. Blah, 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 blah. Like, I don't know what to do.
Can't imagine.
I don't know where to start from. Esther prayed with me in the morning and evening for like 2 weeks to help me build like my personal devotion.
I had someone like that too. That was in 2018. I was running my master's program around that time then, and I just needed God. I was going through a particular phase. I had a friend that was praying with me every night. Like, we spent hours praying, reading the word every night till I was able to come out of that situation. One thing I am always grateful for every phase, God always plants someone.
That's very true.
I can always come together.
He plants people in our lives. He does.
We worship together, we pray together, and I think every Christian needs that one person.
Covenant partners.
Exactly, right? It's more like an accountability partner. So yeah, and God has a way of always putting that one person.
Yeah, like
I have
in
also
every
been
phase
that
of
person to
life,
someone
yes.
else too, right? So yeah, as much as we are looking for people that would,
We should know that we are
should
also supposed to be that
exactly.
person for other people.
Yeah.
So that was how it started. I was still streaming service that period from the house, and then one Sunday morning, Esther just called me and said, "Janice, God said I should tell you to go to church. He's waiting for you."
And you had been in Lagos for a few months and you had never gone to church.
I was just streaming online. So she said, "Go to church. Don't stay at home for any reason today." I was like, I don't understand. I don't even have any church from where to where. So I picked up my phone. I said, okay. I just picked up my phone and I googled the closest Dominion city to my house, and then I found one. I went there. When I went to church, and the atmosphere, everything, it was different. I understood why she said I needed to go. God wanted me there, and He was waiting for me. So the whole preaching, everything, in fact, more than half of the service, I was in tears, right? And I just knew why I had to come there, and then my Christian journey began fully. I started going to church, that branch.
You have never gone back?
No.
Since that day,
No.
Esther called you on the phone and said, "Janice, go to church." It had been back to back going to church. Do you regret that decision?
No, I don't. So I had not spoken in tongues before.
Okay, till now.
No, I blast.
I want to know where I will start from.
As at that time, and I was indifferent about speaking in tongues.
Okay.
Like, if it comes, fine. If it comes, it doesn't make you a bad Christian.
Yes, it does,
right?
Yeah.
So I was indifferent. But that day, when they called for people who have not been baptized in the Holy Ghost to come out, and I stepped out, the reason I was just telling God, I said, "God, I don't know what I'm doing. All this journey that I have started from finding you, wanting to get close to you, and all of that, I don't even know if I'm doing the right thing or the wrong thing, but I just need you to fix me. I don't want to go back home the same way I came." Because I told you that year was a very depressing year for me. I don't want to go back home the same way I came. I needed something to change, and let me just know that He's real. I just needed to know, just give me a sign, right? So we were praying. That was just the words I was repeating there and then, and they started singing this "Don't You Know Your Con" song, "Channels of My Spirit Open Up," and I was just repeating the song, let deep call on to deep. That was how we started. I don't know how I saw myself on the floor. I knelt down. I was just speaking in tongues. I was crying. At some point, I closed my mouth, like, it can't be me doing all of this. By the time I opened my mouth again, it was still tongues.
That was it.
Yes, and that was it. And then we came back to our seats. I was still speaking in tongues. To the point we went to put offering and came back, I was still speaking in tongues. It was after I sat down and I got myself after
the entire
a couple of minutes, and like, what was that? That has been one of the most surreal things I've experienced. And funny thing, I still didn't speak in tongues till sometime May last year. Specifically,
so like after the first.
I don't know how God did it. It was like, just like allowed me to go through this. just wanted you to show you that I am real, and I was there with you the whole process.
Exactly.
I know exactly what is going on with you. Go through the process. I'm here.
You asked me to show you a sign. I am giving you the sign. Now go home and work on yourself.
So by the time I came home, that was when the inspiration to write the book came. So it was born out of that encounter retreat and all of that. So that was how I wrote that first book. Femi Lazarus. I felt like he was called for me. I'm sorry, I know a lot of persons feel this way, because if you go to his comment section, they'll be like, he was sent and prepared for this time and generation. Yes. A lot of persons feel like he was called for them, and I'm one of such persons. I know we are many. Femi Lazarus. Then I listened to oh my God, why is it? Oh my God!
Which church?
Koinonia. What is it called?
Apostle Joshua Selman.
Apostle Joshua Selman. I listened to him. I listened to Apostle Michael Oropo.
Okay.
I listened to oh God, he had this Arome Osai, Apostle Arome Osai. I don't have so much person that I listen
Yeah, no, you don't need
just
a whole lot. You just need this specific person that speak to you, right? So as much as you know God for yourself, people who feed your soul with the word are also very much important.
Yeah. Mostly start with Sumisola.
Okay.
My morning worship is not complete without Sumisola.
That lady is power filled. She's
tell me about
filled,
it. Tell me
right?
about it. So Sumisola, Theophilus Sunday, Victoria Orenze, Dunsino Yekon.
Your list cannot be complete.
It can never. It can never. So Dunsino Yekon, T.Y. Bello.
Oh.
Yeah, I love T.Y. Bello too. T.Y. Bello.
Her sessions are power packed too.
Yeah, this guy who sang what's his name again? I can't believe you can't remember either. the guy is in the list as well. He's in the list as well. So let me think of others. If you're talking about worship, these are the other gospel artists I listen to. You know, worship is not the only genre.
Neon Adejo.
Yes, Neon Adejo. So yes, I listen to him and Don Warren, Sinach,
when we go to the
there are other plenty one, but my core people are the ones.
In the morning when you wake up, this is it, right?
This is it.
I love your collections, right? Because I'm a big fan of Sumishola.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Victoria Orenze myself, right? And I'm also a very big fan of Mercy.
How will I forget
Sinach.
this girl that sang "We Behold Until We Are Formed"?
Who is that?
You don't know her.
Sing the song again.
We cover until we are formed. Jesus.
Continue singing the song.
No, even if it's a popular
The sound
song.
is familiar. That's what I'm trying to.
Yeah. Don't worry. No, it's very from it trended one time. We behold.
So I don't do trends. I do what I like.
Abe Ojomo. No, I don't do trends too. But
Okay.
it's what resonates with my spirit. That's what I
Abe.
do. Abe Ojomo.
Where are you saying?
This is a chose one.
Abe. Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's about my worship playlist. There are some others, but I can't remember them. But these are my core people. Sumisola Adebi. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that name correctly, but Sumisola.
Song.
It's Bola.
Okay, Bola.
Then Aileyi Pada.
Oh.
Then Paul Tomisin Maranatha.
Okay.
Then Dunsino Yekon. No throne without the cross. I think No Me Without You. That should be the title.
Okay.
No Me Without You. Then Maverick City Refiner.
Okay.
Jaira. Then Promises.
Okay.
Then there's Anatolia.
Yeah.
Anatolia. Be Still. There is, oh my goodness, there's this other girl that sang "To Love You Deeper, to Have You Here, God Is Ever Known As." I've forgotten her name.
Is she a new artist?
She's new.
Oh, okay.
She's
We'll
new.
figure it out.
Yeah.
If we remember,
Heaven on
we'll
Earth.
put it. Heaven on Earth.
Heaven
Okay.
on Earth. Then T.Y. Bello, Loved by You. Loved by You. Then CJ Promises.
Okay.
I'm calling the artist name.
Yeah.
CJ Promises. Then Sam Rivera, Miracle. Then there's actually a lot of them.
Note them down.
Elroy. There's this. I've forgotten his name, but Elroy. Find Elroy. You will see.
Okay.
It's like a gospel soul song. Then there's an endless ocean. Gratitude.
Gratitude.
Yes. I think there are others, but for now,
But
I
now
can't
this is
seem to
what,
remember.
yeah. You seem to have a wonderful list of songs that are, I can relate to at least 90% of them. And yeah, I confirm and affirm that, yeah, those songs are spirit-filled, right? And yeah, we have come to the end of this segment. I have 2 cards or 2 inscriptions, never and have I. So let's say I say something, and if you've ever done it, you would say I have. So you bring this up, and if
So I
you've
should
never,
hold on.
yes, of course, and if you've never done it, you raise this up
Give
for
me
the
now.
camera.
I get it. What are
Yeah. So I would just start and.
those? Okay, so you have questions for me.
Yes, of course. Never ever have I read the entire Bible from Genesis to Revelation. What do you have there? Never.
Don't blame me. Don't judge me either.
Okay, so when do you intend to do that?
Hell. My God shall grant me.
I've read
grace
the
to
Bible
do so.
several times from Genesis to Revelation.
Oh, please
it was
rest.
fun. Once as a child while growing up, and another I think in my university days.
I tell you, it's not about reading the Bible from Genesis to Revelation.
I understand. No worries, it was just fun.
I know it was fun. even though.
So
Never.
move on.
I
So
will do it by
never-
God's grace.
Okay. Never ever have I fasted. When I mean fasted, I mean diligently, not the one that's you can be eating in between 6 to 6.
I have.
Oh, really?
And so let me even break from Precious's heart. Let me break her heart. I have done 3 days dry before.
On water alone?
I
Nothing.
said dry.
How did you do it?
I still can't believe it.
How?
I don't know. I guess by God's grace, because I think that was in the year, I think it was 2016 when I was in my former church.
Okay.
But I call it for my family church, because my family is my that church. So we did a 3 days dry, like everybody. And I didn't think I was going to survive, but I'm here.
So you did survive.
I did survive. So I
never
have
have.
fasted.
I never have.
But right now, if I place a fast, I do it diligently.
Okay,
The problem
but not
is not dry. The problem is if I tell myself, okay, you do 5 days fast. Somehow when I get to day 3, it's the end. I don't complete it to 5. If I say 7 days, I'll do like 4 days.
That's it.
That's the problem.
Okay.
That's the thing.
I think you just need a good accountability partner.
Actually, I do.
So how do you always flow?
I don't know.
I don't know. Anyways, God knows our hearts. 3 days is something.
Yeah, so like the last time now we had a fast in church. It was supposed to last through the entire month. And I had told God,
Please,
this
I have
month-
something to say. Has anybody in the history of that 1 month fasting they usually do at either the beginning of the year or at any time, is there anybody that diligently fasts from the very first day to the end?
I
just want
bet
to
you
know.
some persons.
Cause
Some persons,
let me just
they diligently do it.
honestly, I have never done that 1 month.
Speak for
stretch.
yourself.
No, I'm serious. But
I
I feel,
never do it, but I know there
but
are
I feel there are people who
Yes.
also, I don't know. I just feel like everybody. It's not easy. Usually, people
No,
work
let's be serious and very honest with ourselves.
for the 31 days.
Easy. It's not
Wow.
easy. But this last time was around September. I had told myself I was going to. I was
How many
praying the
days did it
prayers.
last?
It was supposed to be for like 21 or so.
Okay.
Guess what happened? I fell sick after the first week, and that was why I couldn't continue. And I feel like it was devil. And it was not just a normal. I couldn't explain. I couldn't eat. I couldn't even eat. That's the funny thing. But because I couldn't just continue with the entire fast. And
Yeah.
devil, it's you. I know this is you because I was so invested in this particular fast. That was it.
So this one, it's a bit tricky, but no, I just have to. So never ever have I used my offering for something else, offering or tithes for something else.
You now go to children's church.
Never ever have I used my offering or tithes
Wait,
for
now.
something else.
You did not go to children's church. I used my offering to chop biscuits. I bought biscuits and I ate it when I was in children's church. But as a grown-up person, no, I don't do that.
Your tithe, your offering, you've never. That's
I am very, very careful with God's money. But there are other things, some vows that I said I was going to give that I have not given to God yet. And there are some I've told myself by the end of this month, I have a percentage I put for this. Like the last 2 months, because things were so tight, and I used it, but I did not touch my tithe. I don't touch it. These are other personal commitments I said I was going to do, and then I was like, okay, I will owe you, I will pay, but this last 2 months.
So never ever have I attended a girls' prayer time.
Never.
No.
I
think we should organize one.
Yeah, we should. Yeah. And I feel like I don't really have like a circle of friends that
neighbors,
yes. No, we are just spread about. And so to bring ourselves together in one place.
No, it's something, it's doable. Just even if we're just 5, maybe every month.
Online,
even online too, right? Yeah, I have, but
I think I have, but that was online. That was like sometime 2021. That was just like for 2 days or so. But I wouldn't say I felt it. You know, when you pray sometimes, you know that everything around you and in you knows that you have done something. So that kind I've never done it. So I would just say I've never said, never. Why are you smiling? I hope you're not going to ask me.
This is never ever have I prayed for a spouse in church or anywhere.
I hope I'm not holding this upside down. I think I've been holding it upside down. Sorry about that, but I have. Me, I want to marry.
Because single people have been dealing with. Because married people have been dealing with us in the year 2024. So yes, I have.
Hey, from January to December. Every month
we have not rested.
My God will judge you people.
He is going to. I believe that 2025 is even going to be worse because because in this December alone, the number of people that are getting married.
Spouse this year. So they are just planning next year
to prepare us.
We'll solidify everything. So next year, plenty relationship. But my God, my God will give us bulletproof.
Never ever have I gone to church late.
I have. I have gone to church late. I don't know why you're laughing. You have to.
I have.
I have. So why are you not laughing?
I'm just laughing because I don't think one way or the other there's something that I've always made us go to church late. Yeah. So never ever have I ignored the ushers in church.
I have.
We are all guilty. Of this. I can remember one day I went to church and then this usher was telling me to go sit down where I don't like sitting down.
They always do that.
You know what I did? I just did as if I didn't see this girl telling me go this way. I just moved to my favorite spot. Please, away. Never ever have I questioned my belief in God.
Well, would I say question? I mean, if we're doubting if God is here sometimes, is that us questioning?
Yeah, you're questioning God. Are you there?
Yeah, I have. And we want to ask God when. That's questioning too.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying about marriage,
other things. Never ever have I lied to skip church.
To skip church?
Let's say, for example, Esther is telling you come to church. Like then when, or even now, have you ever lied to skip church? Any program or anything?
No, I simply just say I don't feel like coming.
Okay.
So never.
Never ever have I had a crush in church. Wait. So are you telling me that you don't have a crush in church?
No.
Where do you now want to marry from?
God will provide. God will provide. God will provide now.
Okay. God will provide.
In church.
Never ever have I fallen asleep in church as an adult.
And I do it stylishly. So you wouldn't know I'm sleeping. So now sometimes, in order for me to prevent myself from falling asleep, that time when I was eating strong, I'll just press my phone. I know it's not right for me to press phone in church, but just so that I try to restrain this sleep from coming. I have to press phone. Then other times I chew bubble gum. Then sometimes if I can't take it no more, I just bend my head like this.
And you sleep stylishly.
And I sleep stylishly. So people will think that maybe you're praying or you're not feeling too well.
Have you ever done that? And then they will say, all the people that want to give their life to Christ, stand there for your sleep. You felt they say stand up.
No, I sleep with tease. I'm composed 100%.
Very demure. Very demure way.
Very demure style of sleeping like this, so you can never suspect.
Oh my god. Okay.
If you want to do that, no, I'm not giving you bad advice, but if you want to do that, wear shades. Nobody will suspect that you're sleeping. I haven't done it too, but wear shades. I'm giving you bad advice, but
You are. I'm sorry. No, don't sleep in church. Please, if you feel like sleeping, just carry your bag and go home.
don't sleep in
Yes, that is my own advice. How will you be telling them?
I am sorry now, I'm not saying it's just that sometimes we can be very tired and you can't help it. So you just wear shades.
If you feel like sleeping, go home.
I am sorry.
Someone has slept beside me, snoring.
Really?
Yes.
That's terrible.
Okay, so but even me, I've slept too in church. It's not like I've not slept before in
But
church.
you shouldn't snore, right?
Yes. Don't sleep too deep. It's maybe just a second you doze off. It's okay. Never ever have I believed that a brother was God sent.
When you say God sent, do you mean like a
Like
spouse?
he came to you, and then in the beginning you were like, God sent, even without going to meet God, but you just felt that it was God sent.
So the person I dated last, I thought he was going to be the one.
So you said in your heart you were like, I believed he was God sent.
He has to be. He ought to be. But my heavenly Father said he's not the one.
Oh, that means you. Wait, let me. Never ever believed a brother. Yeah. So you're an advocate. Oh, you believed.
I believed it was, and God said it wasn't. So
Oh.
your question, yes, I have believed that someone was the one. God had said.
And
it's
God-
not for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of us make that mistake, right? We want it so bad that we start to plead with God to say yes. And because of that, we don't even tend to now hear what God is saying.
Yes.
And if you're not even careful, you may go deep into it and find it difficult to come out. I think Christians should always pray for the spirit of discernment.
And
Yeah.
before you accept any proposal, someone is asking you out, whether a guy, a girl, as in a guy,
For
you want to ask a girl out to
Yeah.
meet God. For a girl, you want to receive a guy's advances, say yes to his advances. You pray. You have to ask God for direction. If you are in a situation where your emotions are involved, you're already having feelings for this person, go and meet, could be your covenant partner or accountability partner or someone that is a leader over you to pray and seek God on your behalf. The reason is that your emotions may cloud your judgments. You may not even be able to hear God clearly. So these are
And even if he speaks to you, because you have already invested yourself with this person emotionally, you will end up not agreeing to God's word because it's not in line with your own personal thoughts.
True.
Right? So yeah. So the reason for this is because there are a lot of things that we do as Christians, and we just want this one, we're participating together.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so it's not just you.
So the thing is, whenever we say we listen, we don't judge. I don't even know what to say. in church they'll make people feel like you want to judge me and don't listen.
Nobody's going to judge you because there are things that every other person to do in church and all of that.
Okay, let's see. Who's going first?
We don't judge.
We listen, we don't judge.
I sold Jesus for... Don't mind me. I was just going to bring Bible things that happened.
That's the female version.
Okay, so we listen, we don't judge. When I was in school, I went to a Christian-based school. So there's something we call chapel. We do chapel every Wednesdays and Sundays, Saturdays, and some other days. So sometimes it's really tiring, usually on Wednesdays after your lecture, and again that forces you to go to church. So I once hid under my bunk just so I wouldn't go to church that day. We listen, we don't judge.
Well, remember during Gateway period, we used to do Thursdays fasting and prayer. I don't know, did you ever fasted for that thing?
No.
I never did either. And then where I'm going to is that we go to a church to hold this, fellowship and all of that. I always leave before they close, just so I could stand in the front line from the store to buy bread and butter.
Oh no.
Because the crowd is always very much now.
We
so I always run away.
We listen, we don't judge.
We listen, we don't judge.
Okay. So there was this day, my parents brought a pastor to the house, and he was praying for me. And the next thing, he was pushing my head, and I didn't like the feeling, so I fell. I'm pretending as though the Holy Spirit had captivated me.
We listen, we don't judge.
We listen, we don't judge.
Okay. Whenever they say, look to your neighbor and say whatever, you know what I mean. Sometimes I don't look. I just want to stay by myself. I don't want to talk to anybody. And I tell myself the things they say we should tell our neighbor.
So you tell it to yourself?
Me, myself, and I.
What the heck is that?
We listen, we don't judge.
Okay. We listen, we don't judge.
Yes.
I have a similar experience. When they say hold your neighbor, I can't. I don't know why.
I know why, because she used to do as if she's the most hygienic person in this life.
Because I cannot hold someone that I don't know where they put their hand. Hello, who knows you might have used your hand to dig your nose or do one thing. No.
It's how she thinks that.
I know. I can't. Please, we listen, we don't judge.
So you're part of the people that's breaking the chain in church. When I say hold your neighbor, so everybody's praying and praying, you break the chain.
I just can't. And then even when if I ever do, I sometimes want to go and wash my hand or I clean my hand. I don't know. It's a mental thing. I don't know.
Whew.
I'm serious.
Wow. Okay.
We listen, we don't judge.
We listen, we don't judge. We listen, we don't judge. When I go to church for the first time and they say if it's your first time worshiping with us, stand up. I don't like standing up. Because all eyes will be on me. I don't like unnecessary attention. So no, I won't stand up.
I'm guilty of that too.
We listen,
so
we don't judge. Yes,
yeah.
We listen, we don't
judge.
I know there are plenty things that I need to judge you with, so open your mouth and talk.
But what if there's none?
Right? What if there's none?
Yeah, because I'm a good girl.
Yeah, we are actually good girls.
Mm-hmm.
That's all.
Yeah.
Thank
We are
you.
good people.
Very good.
Thank you so much, Janice. Thank you
At least you can give me a B.
for joining me on this very first episode of Moments with B.
Yay, thank you.
I am super excited.
Thank you too.
Having this session with you is was so exciting. It's exciting. It's filled with a lot of lessons, and yeah, thank you.
Not me blushing, but girl, you're welcome.